Nutrition during childhood and adolescence is essential for growth and development, health, and well-being. Eating habits established in your childhood and adolescence will track over into adulthood, causing long-term health risk and chronic disease. Children are eating more food away from home, snacking more frequently, and drinking sugary drinks. According to Mary's story, she said that children are getting 50% of their calories from added fats and sugars. The growing epidemic of childhood obesity is a major public health concern in the United States. According to Mary's story, currently 15% of U.S. youth is overweight. That's twice as high as in the 80s and almost 3 times as high for adolescents. Of those children that are overweight, 60% of them have at least one cardiovascular risk factor already, like hypertension, and the prevalence of type 2 diabetes in youth is also increasing. While many things influence children's eating habits and behaviors, one potent force is food advertising. Is this ethical? The answer is no. Today's youth live in a media-saturated environment. Children and adolescents are being targeted with aggressive and intensive food advertising practices through a range of channels. The media is interested in children because they spend billions of their own dollars annually and influence through their parents how more billions of dollars will be spent through household products, and later they will become future customers. It is estimated that U.S. adolescents spend about $140 billion per year. Children under 12 spend about $25 billion per year, but influence how $200 billion more is spent every year. These children are young and impressionable and should not be taken advantage for monetary gain. It is having an effect on their health, and it should be controlled. Gorn and Goldberg conducted an experimental study where they examined children ages 5 to 8 attending a summer camp and exposed them to television advertisements and compared that to their actual food consumption. Daily, for 2 weeks, these children would watch 30 minutes of cartoons with 5 minutes of advertisements embedded within the cartoon. There were 2 groups. One group watched advertising with food such as Kool-Aid and candy, and the other group watched commercials for fruits and juices. After the cartoon was over, the children were then allowed to select a snack for the day. The snacks include fruits, juices, candy, and Kool-Aid. The children who watched the Kool-Aid video advertisement chose candy and Kool-Aid more often than the children who did not watch it. And the children who watched healthy snack advertisements chose fruits and juices over the Kool-Aid and candy. This is an example of how food advertising affects children. McDonald's has a food combo for children we all know as the Happy Meal. The Happy Meal consists of a pop, French fries, and a hamburger. All of these foods are not ideal for children to eat. However, with the name like Happy Meal, children are more receptive to respond to it. The box is covered in the kids' latest toys. In this case, it's Littlest Pet Shop, and they are intrigued by the prize they receive inside. McDonald's is commonly known for targeting children to sell their product. There are currently a few standards or policies that affect children's advertising today. In 1990, children's advocacy groups persuaded Congress to pass the Children Television Act. That means that on the weekends, advertisers can advertise 12 minutes out of every hour program. On the weekdays, they can advertise 10.5 minutes out of every hour program. This law is still in effect today. Numerous studies have shown that heavily marketed products targeted towards children in preschool and grade school are predominantly high in sugar and fat. Bridget Kelly said that children exposed to food advertising prefer the food that was advertised as opposed to those who were not exposed to such ads. She also said that there was a relationship between the number of hours children watch television and the number of requests for food advertised during those programs, as well as the availability of that food in the home. This is an epidemic that must be stopped.